Lemens, and I thought he was decent enough. He made some important saves, and overall he was pretty solid. I don't think you can really blame him too much for either Bournemouth goal. Obviously, one was a penalty, and the other one was a really, really tidy finish right into the corner of the net. It was a brilliant wee goal, actually, right through the defender's legs, right into the corner. It could have maybe moved a wee bit faster. His footwork could have maybe been a wee bit better, but it was right in the corner, side netting, brilliant little strike. He made, what was it, 3 saves, a few high claims. The one problem with Lemens, and it wasn't even really his problem, his distribution only 22 from 40 something, 22 from 40. And that's because they didn't play the big guy up front. He was hitting it long sometimes to a 5'8" striker, 5'8" striker. That's not proper. That's not right. The big man should have been on. Everyone knows it. When you have a team who are going to press you hard, you sometimes need to go long just to get over that press. You can't go long, or you can go long, but it's not very effectively when you get a 5'8" striker up there. So yeah, for Lemens though, 6.8. Now for Diego Dalot, fast becoming our main right back. I thought it was going to be Mazraoui, but no, Dalot's taken that spot for himself, and he was actually not bad in this game. Funnily enough, he was actually better going forward than he was at the back, which is not real for him. It's usually the other way around. I believe he had 3 or 4 key passes, 3 key passes. He had a shot, wasn't on target. His pass success rate was okay, but hardly any passes because they were scared to get on the ball. The press from Bournemouth, it was just too much for them. These guys were not the best on the ball. So going forward, he was decent. At the back, he wasn't great. Only 6 defensive actions. He only won 2 out of his 6 duels. So it was a mixed performance. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. But for me, for Dalot, a 6.4. Now for Luke Shaw. And on the night, he was Man United's best defender. Shaw had a game where he was involved a lot. There was definitely useful moments from him. Still think there was times Bournemouth found too much space down that side. Maybe he was going forward too much. Maybe he was coming inside too much. Who knows? But he actually, defensively, he was solid. 10 defensive actions, won 4 out of 4 tackles, 5 recoveries. His passing was okay. He won 6 out of 8 duels. He was defensively easily Man United's best player. So for this match, going forward, he wasn't great. But for this match, just for his defensive numbers alone and the fact that he was everywhere and he was trying, Shaw gets a 7.3. So now for Harry Maguire, and obviously he made a mistake. He gave away a penalty late on. It was a mixed bag anyway because he only won half of his duels. He only won 3 out of 6. His passing, 22 out of 29. That's not great. But he did have 11 defensive actions, 9 clearances, but he did give away a penalty. And he did run away and celebrate when Man United went 2-1 up as if he headed the ball in the net. When the replay shows he didn't really get anywhere near it. It was an own goal. So he gets points off for that, for being a dickhead. So for Maguire, a mixed match, a really stupid penalty given away, and a really stupid celebration when he acted like he scored a goal when he didn't. Maguire gets a 5.7, and we've missed him now for 3 games because he got a straight red card. Good one, Maguire. He's getting a new contract as well, by the way. Now for Lenny Euro, and he had some good moments, but I wouldn't say this was a fully convincing display. There was bits of quality in his defending, but also moments where Bournemouth were just all over him, and he found it a wee bit stressful, let's say. Bournemouth are going to do that to anyone, let alone a teenager at centre-back for Man United. But the one thing about Euro, he won 5 out of his 8 duels. That was pretty damn good. He won 1 out of 1 tackle. He had 7 defensive actions. His passing, again, 13 from only 18 passes. Now, this boy played the full fucking match, and he only had 18 passes. That tells you something. Man United were going long to try and beat the press. And you can't go long when you have a 5'8" striker up top. It's ridiculous. It's bad management from Carrick. It's the first time I've said that. It was a bad decision to play Mbeumo up front. You're going to play Mbeumo, sure, play him on the right-hand side next to Bruno, but not up front, not in this game. We needed a focal point up there. And it was not Mbeumo. But for Lenny Euro, pretty solid defensively. I'm going to give him a 7. Now for Casemiro, and he felt functional, more than influential in this game. The early booking mattered because once he's on a yellow card early, he's got to play the rest of the game a wee bit differently. I think you could see that. He was holding back a little bit. He was being extra careful. He still did the dirty work. He got himself about. But United never really got proper midfield control in the second half, and that let Bournemouth get back in the game. For this match, he was trying. but it was held back by that early yellow card. I'm going to give him a 6.5. Okay, Kobe Manu, and he was neat in moments. He was pretty effective sometimes, but this wasn't one of those games where he was really imposing himself. Bournemouth grew stronger. United needed somebody in the middle of the pitch to calm things down, keep possession, and help slow the game when it was getting messy. And that just didn't really happen. Not for Kobe and not for Casemiro. It was a average showing from the two centre midfielders. Bournemouth were just all over them all game. For Kobe, a 6.2. Now Bruno Fernandes, the captain, and once again, surprise, surprise, he was the best player on the field, especially for Man United anyway. He got the goal. He kept trying to drive the team forward, and he still looked like the one player most likely to make something happen when the game was getting scrappy. 6 shots, 3 key passes. It tells you everything about this man. He never stops wanting the ball, and anytime he's got the ball, he makes something happen. He was even winning his duels. He won 5 out of 9 duels. It was just a really, really top game from him again. I'm going to give him an 8.3 because without him, Man United are shocking. Let's face it. I do not know how we're going to replace this guy. But 8.3 for Fernandes. Now for Matheus Cunha, and he was excellent against Bournemouth. He won the penalty. It was a great little cut inside, and he just got dragged back by can't remember the guy's name. But that's where the opener came from Cunha. It was brilliant play. He gave United real energy. He always does. He was direct. He was coming inside. He was going outside. He runs with the ball. He takes on defenders. He fights for duels. He's an absolute cracking player. One of the best players I've seen at Man United for a long, long time. We need to get better players around him, and we could be back. But this guy is definitely the real deal. Doesn't always do enough in terms of goals and assists. I really want to see him getting more of those. But sheer work rate, defensively, offensively, pressing, the guy's amazing. And for this match, he gets an 8.1. Now, Amad Diallo, he was one of United's brighter attackers, along with obviously fucking Cunha and Fernandes. He was up there with them. Wasn't quite as good as those two, but he looked lively. He carried a threat. He was one of the few players who actually felt capable of unsettling Bournemouth, just with the fact that he can go either side. He can run outside, he can come inside. Is brilliant. And plus, he never gives the ball away. What's his pass success rate? He had 34 passes. He completed 34 of them. He won 3 of 6 duels, 1 of 1 tackle, 2 of 3 dribbles. He had a shot on target, another shot blocked. The guy he had a really, really good game. Not quite as good as Cunha and Fernandes, but more like this from Diallo. And I'm going to give the boy a 7.6. And he was also unlucky with the penalty decision in the first half. It should have been a penalty. Absolutely should have been a penalty. Now for Brian Mbeumo, and it was a really quiet game for the big guy up front, or for the wee guy up front. He was involved here and there, but not in the kind of decisive way you want from an attacking player, from the striker, from the focal point, from the one that you're relying on to get the goals. He never really stamped himself on the game. And compared to the likes of Bruno and Cunha and Ahmad, he was just not really into it, not really up for it, not really involved. And I don't blame him. A lot of the balls coming from him, especially from Lamens, long balls from the goalkeeper, and you're kicking them up to him. He's not going to win them. The ball's just bouncing off him if he even gets a touch on it. It should have been a big guy in. It's not Mbuemo's fault. Mbuemo, if he plays, I'm not a fan of Mbuemo playing as a striker. Maybe against certain teams, but not against Bournemouth. No chance. A 6.2 for Mbuemo. So United, they had enough quality in key moments to win the game, especially through Bruno and Matheus Cunha, but they just didn't manage the match well enough once they got themselves in front. Bournemouth grew stronger as it went on. United lost control in midfield, and defensively, that late penalty and that red card, it cost us badly. But you've got to give Bournemouth credit at Old Trafford and on Friday night. Bournemouth kept going behind and they kept getting back in the goddamn game. So you've got to give credit where it's due. But this match obviously turned on refereeing decisions. 2 points stolen from Man United. Stolen. I know it's a strong word, but it's absolutely accurate. Stolen from Man United. But yeah, 2 weeks draw and a really, really fun game. I enjoyed it. It was a good game to watch. It's a shame about the referees. They need to get punished. We need to start punishing ridiculously bad decisions. It was a shocking decision from the referee and from the VAR. So yeah, 2-2 it finished. We go to the next one. Who's the next one? Is it Leeds at Old Trafford? I think in a couple of weeks' time. See you then, guys.